Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for tuning in. We have a lot to talk about. William Barr is going to be President Trump's new attorney general. President Trump will have a new attorney general. Saying that 1,000 times. People should be very excited. People should be jumping for joy. Unfortunately, there has been a great deal of propaganda, both left and unfortunately among Trump supporters, regarding super secret Martians speaking through MySpace, telling you that things are going to happen. And when they don't happen, suddenly the energy level and the enthusiasm and the apathy, well, the enthusiasm dwindles and the apathy, unfortunately, increases. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my belief, based on the evidence, that Hillary Clinton will eventually get indicted. Whether it's next month or the end of Trump's second term, we don't know. I do not know. She has committed numerous crimes, transferring top secret intelligence outside of the United States government. Special access program, top secret intel. They all know this. They all know this, but it's too dry, or it's too... there's not enough people who either want to discuss this in the media, or it's just a topic that people can't wrap their brains around. How did she transfer the top secret intelligence? Yeah, she did, but I guess she was sanctioned to do so, and who knows what happened. Ladies and gentlemen, I am telling you that she will eventually, and people around her, Brian Pagliano, who actually transferred the top secret intelligence, will eventually get indicted. We'll start, before I give you a quote, because I'm going to play a clip of Senator John Cornyn speaking with William Barr. But before I get to that, this is from James Comey. For example, 7 email chains concern matters that were classified at the top secret special access program level when they were sent and received. These chains involved Secretary Clinton both sending emails about those matters and receiving emails from others about the same matters. There is evidence to support a conclusion that any reasonable person in Secretary Clinton's position or in the position of those government employees with whom she was corresponding about these matters should have known that an unclassified system was no place for that conversation. Although there is evidence of potential violations of the statutes regarding the handling of classified information, our judgment is no reasonable prosecutor would bring such a case. Are you kidding? They're going after people for process crimes. So, of course, reasonable prosecutors would bring the case. Of course. We don't know how Brian Pagliano transferred this top secret intelligence. Brian Pagliano was the man who Secretary Clinton paid to transfer the intelligence. So William Barr is going to get to the bottom of this. Now, whether it's from Lindsey Graham's email investigation, because Lindsey Graham is going to investigate Clinton emails. Let's just get to, really quickly, and by the way, to my super chat, thank you so very much. You give me every incentive to rock these live streams. Thank you very, very much. I want you to listen to this exchange. This is very, very important. This is a very important exchange.
Very, very much.
Oh, Lord. All right. This is a very important exchange. This is William Barr and Senator John Cornyn. So he's going to be voted in. I don't know the exact date, but the Senate will eventually confirm William Barr to be the next Attorney General, either next week or the week after. But by the end of February, President Trump will have a new Attorney General. This Attorney General will look at actual crimes committed by Democrats. Trump did not commit any crimes. They're investigating him and they're harassing him. They're going after him simply to muddy the waters. That's why after 2 years, all they have is a report. Comey didn't end his cover-up / investigation with a report. He stated she committed crimes. Then he said, well, we're not going to prosecute because Loretta Lynch met with Bill Clinton to speak about golf, Brexit, and grandchildren. That's literally one of the reasons that William Barr brought up. But let's just, because they asked him, well, have you ever seen this? He said, no, but it's my understanding that he did that because he thought Loretta Lynch was compromised, and he wasn't happy with what James Comey did either. But let's listen to this. Barr questioned about Comey's handling of Clinton email investigation. This is CNN.
If I'm confirmed, I assume I'll find out. Rod Rosenstein's memo recommending the termination of James Comey as FBI director was dated May the 9th, 2017. It's entitled Restoring Public Confidence in the FBI. I take it you've read the memo, and do you agree with its conclusion? I completely agree with Rod Rosenstein, and I thought
he completely agrees that James Comey should have been fired. The memo that Rod Rosenstein wrote was they're referring to was the memo to justify Comey's firing. So you can't have obstruction of justice when the FBI director usurps the authority of the attorney general. It then goes to the deputy attorney general. So the DOJ makes the call, not the FBI, whether to indict somebody. The fact that, and William Barr knows what's going on. He's being diplomatic, but he knows what's going on. Everyone knows what's going on. It was a cover-up. They covered up Clinton's email crimes. And why did she use an email server? To hide her Clinton Foundation pay-to-play schemes. It's obvious. Everyone knows what's going on. The problem is the facade of state power, the facade, the charade. Well, we must respect the institution of government. So even if it's a cover-up and a fabricated investigation to Trump, we have to just abide by what media and what these investigations inherently tell us. Or the fact that there's a criminal cover-up, that the FBI covered up Clinton's crimes, and the fact that they fabricated an investigation into Trump, you see, that's not enough. That's not enough to stop all of this. The only way to stop this, because they revere the media, because the Democratic Party was given assistance by Brennan and Clapper and Comey, the media loves the intelligence community. They love but then, of course, when Kavanaugh has his 7th or 8th or 10th FBI investigation, which was a bunch of nonsense, then it wasn't thorough enough. The FBI didn't do a good job. So they'll jettison these intel agencies in a heartbeat if it doesn't work their way. The reason they love Brennan and Clapper and Comey is because they basically were extensions of the Democratic Party. But listen to William Barr. This is the new, and William Barr has written about the uranium deal. He'd written about the Mueller probe. He thinks it's a bunch of nonsense. He's already stated there's more to investigate with uranium, the Obama uranium deal, than any ties Trump has to Facebook ads. He's already stated that. So, but listen to the rest of this.
Important point he made from my standpoint was not the particular usurpation that occurred, but it was, as I think he says, that Director Comey just didn't recognize that was a mistake, and so it was going to potentially be a continuing problem, that his appreciation of his role vis-a-vis the Attorney General. As I said, the title of the memo is Restoring Public Confidence in the FBI. Do you agree that restoration of public confidence in the FBI and Department of Justice as a apolitical or non-political law enforcement organization is important? It's critical and needed. It's critical, and that's one of the reasons I'm sitting here. I'd like to help with that process. Well, Mr. Barr, I think you're uniquely qualified.
So the only way to make it apolitical is to actually investigate crimes that were taking place, that have taken place. Beautiful gray. They took pics of the data to transfer thus the smashed cell phones. Yes, that's one that Paul Sperry talks about that. So beautiful gray, Paul Sperry talks about that. That's one possible way they did this. Another possible way is they just plugged their servers into government servers, which I don't really know how that's possible. But But yeah, they took cell phone pics. That's definitely one way that could have happened. They could have summarized the data. There's a lot of different ways. Illegal, mind you, all illegal. It's inherently illegal. So when they say, well, you know, we're going to restore confidence in the FBI and the DOJ, how did the FISA judges sign off? The FISA warrants were created to start an investigation. Carter Page never did anything wrong. There was no criminal act that Carter Page or Trump committed. What they did was begin an investigation that couldn't be stopped after it had already commenced. Because the government and the media revere state power. They revere government authority only when it fits the Democratic Party, or at least at this point right now. And the Bush administration was different. The country was more conservative, and the media revered state power when it came to Bush. That's why he plunged this country into two of the most devastating conflicts this nation has ever had. He's the worst president of all time, George W. Bush. But the media did not take him to task. The media was in bed with the Bush administration. The media is still in bed with Obama and Clinton. Because they can't look, the insurance policy, and he talks about this, William Barr talks about this. The insurance policy that Peter Strzok wrote about, William Barr, let's see if I could find a clip. When he is asked by Senator Lindsey Graham, I was shocked over Peter Strzok anti-Trump text. Okay, so William Barr says this, and let's see if we can get to this. He says, I was shocked. Let's see if we can get to this. So,
yes, Mr. Chairman, I think there are a number of investigations, as I understand it, going on in the department.
Have you ever heard of such a thing in all the time you've been associated with the Department of Justice?
I have never heard of that.
Are there rules about how you can do counterintelligence investigations?
I believe there are, Mr. Chairman.
So if you want to open up one against the president, are there any checks and balances?
Not outside the FBI.
So not outside the FBI. So beautiful gray, thank you. Not outside the FBI. Ramla Farah, hello. Not outside the FBI, which is basically means they were given carte blanche to investigate the president. William Barr knows this. He's going to be Attorney General. That's why they're investigating Trump on nonsense yet again in New York. That's why they started this 2 years of fabricated nonsense, because when Clinton gets indicted, when there are new investigations, because it will never end. Both Clintons, Bill and Hillary, they can't live without an investigation. They're constantly embroiled in a scandal because they're constantly committing crimes. That's the issue. That's why when Christopher Hitchens focused so much on Bill Clinton, they said, "Oh, you're obsessed." He's like, "Well, yeah, of course." Because he's completely unethical and a criminal. And what do you expect? He slithers away from repercussions that most other people would have experienced. So that's the whole point, ladies and gentlemen. That's the whole point. The whole point is, forget about what you've heard from super secret spy agents on MySpace telling you that, you know, there's going to be military tribunals. There's not going to be any military tribunals. We're lucky if we get one indictment this month or next year pertaining to Clinton. There should be 10, 15. You have a whole bunch of people who allowed Clinton to transfer the top secret intelligence outside the U.S. government. But you also had a lot of people fabricating and framing and implicating Trump. There's not even a statute. There's no statute called collusion, but then they say, well, there's a fraud committed against the U.S. What greater fraud than purchasing the Steele dossier? The Democrats the other day were like, oh, a hostile foreign power. Clinton purchased the dossier from a hostile foreign power. Julio Yu, thank you. Clinton purchased. KB, thank you. Clinton purchased a document from a hostile foreign power. The Steele dossier was composed. The Steele dossier was composed by alleged Russian sources, including intelligence officials from Russia. And the Democrats purchased it. So that's, I mean, Matthew Whitaker yesterday should have been like, look, if you don't like working with a hostile foreign nation like Russia, why did you purchase the Steele dossier? Why did you give them 20% of U.S. uranium capacity? Why was yellow cake uranium shipped out of the country? So, I mean, it's like, it's unbelievable. Let's listen to William Barr. I mean, look, this is the exchange between Lindsey Graham and William Barr when he talks about Peter Strzok.
Well, we need to look at that. In terms of people who are actually enforcing the law, don't we want to make sure they don't have an agenda?
That's right, Mr. Chairman.
Do you know a Lisa Page or Peter Strzok?
I've heard their names.
So do you know them personally?
No, I don't.
This is a message, August 8th, 2016, a text message. Trump's not ever going to become president, right? Right. Strzok responded, no, he's not. We'll stop him. Strzok was in charge of the Clinton email investigation. Ms. Page worked at the Department of Justice. August 15th, 2016. I want to believe the path you threw out for consideration in Andy's office, that there's no way he gets elected, but I'm afraid we can't take that risk. It's like an insurance policy in the unlikely event you die before 40. March 4th, 2016. Page to Strzok. God, Trump is a loathsome human being. October the 20th, 2016. Trump is an effing idiot, is unable to provide a coherent answer. To all those who enforce the law, you can have any opinion of us that you like, but you're supposed to do your job without an agenda. Do you promise me as Attorney General, if you get this job, to look in to see what happened in 2016?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
How do these statements sit with you?
I was shocked when I saw them.
Okay, please get to the bottom of it. I promise you we will protect the investigation, but we're relying upon you to clean this place up.
All right. So, like I said, it's going down. And they had these hearings, these ridiculous hearings where Peter Strzok was like, in no way did it influence my invest. How do you look, the Democratic Party, they're so illogical. They're so petulant. They think that Russia hacked the DNC to inform the country that Bernie Sanders was cheated. They're criminal. They defraud 200 million. Bernie voters of $200 million. That is, a fraud was committed. $200 million. They let people give money to his campaign, and all that money eventually went to the Democratic Party, or the money that he didn't use. And then he said, well, all my voters vote for Clinton. But it was never a fair primary. They lied. And it was never neutral. That's why Debbie Wasserman Schultz was forced to resign. And then what they did is they successfully swept it under the rug, because you had media and you had people saying, oh my God, Trump is horrible. Now there's a great economy. He just signed prison reform legislation. There's the beginning of peace between North and South Korea. He's bringing home Americans from 2 theaters of conflict. Over 300,000+ manufacturing jobs, over 300,000 lost under President Obama. record low Black and Latino unemployment. But tell me again how he's this horrible monster. And Peter Strzok wanted to stop all of this because Madam Secretary needed to be president. So, I mean, at a certain point, you have to say, look, this person committed a crime. It is a crime to fabricate an investigation. You cannot simply say there are legal statutes pertaining to destruction of evidence, law enforcement officials fabricating evidence. You can't simply say, well, we purchased a steel dossier. We didn't know. They knew what was going on because they hid behind protocol, but you just call their bluff. You have enough evidence to prosecute Peter Strzok. There are statutes that prevent law enforcement from obstructing justice or from fabricating investigations or from destroying evidence or from allowing evidence to be destroyed. You can't just say, "Oh, well, you know what? She bleach bit she destroyed all her cell phones. Oh, well, what can we do?" If you're Peter Strzok and you're Comey and you're Lisa Page and you allow this to take place, you're implicated. Call their bluff. But William Barr doesn't even have to do that. He just has to first focus on Andrew McCabe, who is under FBI investigation or criminal investigation. He has a grand jury investigating him. Then there's James Baker, who's also under criminal investigation. So you have Andrew McCabe under criminal investigation. You have James Baker under criminal investigation. And when people say, "Oh, HA, indictments are imminent, huh?" It's like, yeah. They not only were they imminent, the top legal counsel at the FBI said he thought Clinton should have been indicted. It was a cover-up. You're doubling down on the cover-up. But this is Lindsey Graham again. Listen to this again. It's right here.
God, Trump is a loathsome human being. It's me as Attorney General, if you get this job, to look in to see what happened in 2016.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
How do these statements sit with you?
I was shocked when I saw them.
Okay.
I was shocked when I saw them. That's a diplomatic way of saying he knew there was a cover-up. Do you think William Barr is going to speak like H.A. Goodman or Tom Fitton or Joe DeGeneva? They're a million times more awesome than I am. But do you think that do you think he's going to speak in that manner? Do you think William Barr is going to speak in the way that I speak, or communicate or express himself in the same manner I express myself? You think William Barr has a channel devoted to Democratic corruption? No. Or a voice? No. So he's like, I was shocked. Listen to it again.
Chairman.
How do these statements sit with you?
I was shocked when I saw them.
Okay, please get to the bottom of it. I promise you we will protect the investigation.
It is 2020 election time. It is 2020 election time, ladies and gentlemen. It's 2020 election time. What are you going to do if you're the Republican Party? Tina Bobina, I didn't see your super chat. Thank you, Tina Bobina. Thank you. Tino Bobina, thank you. What are you going to do if you're the Republican Party and you then just allow the media to cover only alleged corruption, alleged Trump corruption, whereas you have actual criminal behavior with legal statutes. Tino Bobina, I enjoyed watching AG frustrate them, much like Kamala AOC Booker frustrates Norm. Tino Bobina, thank you. Yeah, Matthew Whitaker was great. What was he like? Your time is up. Matthew Matthew Whitaker said to them, your time is up. Oh my God. Oh my God. Your 5 minutes to Dem Chairman, your 5 minutes is up. That's so great. Oh my God, that's so amazing. I have to see this. Hold on one second. This is just so amazing. Your 5 minutes is up, Mr. Chairman. Point of order. Point of order, Mr. Chairman. Point of order. I'm trying to. Where is this thing? I'm trying to find it. Where is this?
Council's regulations to a T. There has been no event, no decision that has required me to take any.
I think my words were clear enough. Have you ever been asked to approve any request or action to be taken by the special bill?
I understand, Mr. Chairman. I was just saying that might be a good breaking point at that for you. Voluntarily,
nice. Hold on a second.
City's acting Attorney General. Have you ever been asked to approve any request or action to be taken by the special counsel?
Mr. Chairman, I see that your 5 minutes is up, and so we've agreed to 5-minute rounds, and I think that's a fine place to end the 5-minute rule.
We'll come to it. I will point out that we didn't enforce the 5-minute rule on acting Attorney General Whitaker. We will.
I understand, Mr. Chairman. I was just saying that might be.
Look at that. Hello. Hello. Stephanie Parker. I'm missing football, but you'll be my Valentine, so I feel better. Stephanie Parker. Thank you, Stephanie Parker. Valentine's Day is coming up. Happy Valentine's Day, Stephanie. Stephanie Parker, thank you so very much. This is political football, and you know it's really it's unbelievable. You know, Trump is on the 50-yard line, and all he has to do is run the ball, and he scores. Stephanie Parker, thank you so much for your support, and happy Valentine's Day, Stephanie. Tina Bobina, thank you. Stephanie Parker, thank you. Your 5 minutes is up.
The Attorney General was in the middle of saying something. Answer the question, please. Regular order. Should I ask the questioning? Okay. Any questions that are unanswered?
Point of order.
Require consultation with the White House will be asked again at that proceeding, and I expect either a clean answer or a proper assertion of privilege claimed by the president. I would ask members on both sides of the aisle to make those questions clear for the record so we know what must be addressed at the future proceeding. Now, in your capacity as acting Attorney General, have you ever been asked to approve any request or action to be taken by the special counsel?
Mr. Chairman, I see that your 5 minutes is up.
Oh!
I think that's a fine place to end the 5 minutes.
We'll come to it. I will point out that we didn't enforce the 5-minute rule on.
You know, I gotta give Nadler. I gotta give him props. He starts laughing too. I gotta give him props, even though he's annoying beyond belief. He starts laughing too. Oh my god. Oh my god. And They actually had a hearing about whether Matthew Whitaker spoke about Mueller, whether he did anything to impede Mueller. There's no criminal behavior there. Meanwhile, they had Strzok, who's like, oh yeah, we'll stop Trump. It is illegal to stop a political candidate if you're an FBI agent. It's illegal to do that. There are law enforcement misconduct statutes. This is the Department of Justice. Okay? Law enforcement misconduct statutes. Whoever, I mean, this is just one. Whoever, under color of any law, willfully subjects any person to deprivation of any rights, privileges, or immunities secured or protected by the Constitution or laws of the United States shall be guilty of a crime. What is that? We'll stop Trump. Do you think that he was? It's 18 U.S. Code 242, Section 242. Okay, well, let's look at 18 U.S. Code 242. These are all statutes that almost certainly Strzok broke. Okay, different punishment, pains, penalties. Go on. Might not be. That might not pertain to. That's not. So that would be wrong. So 18 U.S. Code 242. No. No. So that's the wrong statute. But let's see where that would not pertain to Trump or Strzok. But let's see where the laws regarding the statutes regarding crooked enforcement officials. Okay, statutes. Addressing police misconduct. Laws enforced by the Department of Justice. So, federal crime enforcement. Public corruption. Tampering with a witness. Victim or an informant. Whoever prevents the attendance or testimony of any person in an official proceeding. Okay. Prevent the production of a record, document, or other object. So they did all of this. They ensured that people's James Comey exonerated Clinton without even looking at the testimony. Withhold testimony or withhold a record, document, or other object from an official proceeding. They withheld. Well, there wasn't an official proceeding yet, but they withheld a whole bunch of records. Alter, destroy, mutilate, or conceal an object with intent to impair the integrity or availability of the object for use in an official proceeding. How about the boxes of evidence the FBI had? How about all the the evidence the FBI allowed to be destroyed? This is 18 U.S. Code 1512, tampering with a witness, victim, or an informant. So that's just one example, one legal statute. An official proceeding. What about Whoever corruptly alters, destroys, or conceals a record, document. Okay, there you go. Or attempts to do so with the intent to impair the object's integrity or availability for use in an official proceeding. Mueller. What about the Mueller team deliberately erasing Strzok's and Page's cell phones? Whoever intentionally harasses another person thereby hinders delays. So, I mean, I'm not 100% sure if these statutes would apply to FBI agents, but there has to be statutes. FBI agent indicted, charged with lying. FBI agent charged. Okay, so you have a criminal. Andrew McCabe lied 3 times under oath. So it's like, what more needs to happen? He will eventually get indicted. Andrew McCabe, grand jury. Oh my God, Andrew McCabe, in new book, Trump operates like a mob boss. And people like eat this up, like, oh, really? And then Andrew McCabe accuses Trump of forcing Rod Rosenstein to write the memo justifying Comey's firing. It's like, this guy he has a new book out, McCabe. The guy is under criminal investigation. It's like how the FBI protects America. Okay. In the age of Trump. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? He's under grand jury investigation. He's under criminal investigation. Prosecutors use grand jury as investigation of Andrew McCabe intensifies. His wife took $800,000 from Terry McAuliffe. Are you kidding me? It's like so corrupt. He lied 3 times under oath. Grand jury probe of Andrew McCabe heats up. It's a grand jury to investigate fired FBI Director Andrew McCabe. And James Baker's also under criminal investigation. You know Andrew McCabe's in a really bad spot when the IG report. The IG report that went out of its way not to implicate anyone was like, oh yeah, Andrew McCabe lied. Andrew McCabe lied. We need a grand jury. I mean, these people are the most crooked individuals. Okay, criminal. Inspector General recommends criminal investigation of Andrew McCabe. So when the IG recommends a criminal investigation, that's a problem. That IG, Michael Horowitz, with all the corruption, he recommended only one person be under criminal investigation, and that's Andrew McCabe. Everybody else was like just as corrupt. And the reason was because he leaked information, lied 3 times under oath, and he leaked information just to make it seem that he was tough on the Clintons, even though everybody knew he wasn't, because his wife received $800,000. Wait, total of 800, was it 600? How many wife? Terry McAuliffe. $700,000 from Clinton friends. $700,000. So it's so corrupt, it's unbelievable. They're like, indictments are imminent. HA. It didn't happen. So, of course, he didn't recuse himself. Could you imagine if, like, if a Trump associate gave hundreds of thousands of dollars to the wife of an FBI agent, and that FBI agent hooked Trump up? Could you imagine? They would never stop. So, but then you have right now, you have like a whole bunch of nonsense. They would never stop. Exactly. They would never stop attacking, ever. Ever. They would never stop. But now you have SDNY, Trump. Oh my God. He's under investigation? For what? For what? Now they're like, Trump's biggest nightmare isn't Mueller. So they're passing the baton. Meet the federal prosecutor who scares Trump more than Mueller. Okay. SDNY investigation, peril for Trump. New Trump probe looks a lot like a RICO investigation. Really? Why? Money laundering, fraud, conspiracy, a criminal enterprise. Meanwhile, where's the Clinton Foundation? Is like endless scandals that actually money flows in, beneficial treatment takes place, referring to a conspirator. Oh, now he's a mob boss. Well, some reports say, this is a Daily Beast article, while some reports say Special Counsel Robert Mueller's investigation is winding down. So 2 years of plunging America into a Cold War McCarthy era mayhem. It appears that another investigation is just gearing up. According to reports of the Wall Street Journal, New York Times, a grand jury in the Southern District of New York recently issued a subpoena to the Trump Inaugural Committee. The Inaugural Committee? Really? The Inaugural Committee. Did they steal $10 billion from Haiti? Did they preside over the 20% of U.S. uranium capacity to Russia? Oh, I'm sorry. What exactly happened? What exactly happened? Trump Inaugural Committee subpoenaed for documents. And then you have Manhattan federal prosecutors seek to scrutinize donors. Okay, Manhattan is the center of Democratic politics. Or New York. Okay. They fundraised and spent more than $100 million on 2017 inauguration festivities. Fundraised? She's $1.2 billion Clinton raised. $1.2 billion. Then they're like, oh, yeah, it's a RICO statute. Like, you had 85 donors who gave $185 million. Let's see. And then, okay, so 85 donors, Clinton. $156 million. Now they're worried about the black conservative patriot. Goodman's sarcasm is comedy gold. It never happened. Everybody, subscribe to Black Conservative Patriot. He is awesome. Thank you so very much for watching. Always, I watch your channel, and Black Conservative Patriot is awesome. He has a channel that is growing 100, almost 200,000 subs. Everybody, Black Conservative Patriot, thank you very much. Thank you for watching. And here is Black Conservative Patriot's channel. Let's get him to 200,000 subs. That's awesome. That is awesome. That is very, very awesome. I'm looking at some awesome. Trump just red-pilled America. So very cool. Thank you very much, Black Conservative Patriot. Thank you. So, Goodman sarcasm is coming on. It never happened. Yeah, you know, it's thank you again, Black Conservative Patriot. Thank you. And, you know, it's like 85 donors gave $156 million. And that's okay. But the Trump inaugural, that's the problem. This is what we have to. It's not even Trump. It's the, like, with the Clintons, like, it is them. The Clinton Foundation is Bill and Hillary Clinton. It's not just, it's just like this facade that it's a charitable organization. No, we know from the Podesta emails that there's 500 conflicts of interest. That there's a Bill Clinton Inc. We know all of this. Pence wrongly says that more than half of Clinton's meetings went to foundation donors. Who cares? If 85 of them went to foundation donors, that's the issue. Like, but they're now going after the Trump inaugural. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is the big problem of our age. This is the huge problem. New evidence emerges of possible wrongdoing by Trump inaugural committee. The inaugural committee. Like, they had a dance. They had, you know, champagne. You know, what's the expensive champagne they had? Bruce Tomaszewski, read interesting article that Sessions' recusal was due to him being spied on pre-election as a close Trump supporter. Anything possible? Could be. I mean, they could have, you know, who knows what. I mean, with Sessions, it was probably more he just didn't want to fight. He just didn't want to fight. Tax laws prohibit nonprofits from paying inflated prices to entities that are owned by people. Now you're worried about nonprofits? You got $10 billion stolen from Haiti. $10 billion. $10 billion. $10 billion. Wait, here. I'm sorry. 9.5 billion. Hold on one second. My bad. Where did the money go? Public donors pledged $9.5 billion. $9.5 billion. Okay? Here. Public donors pledged $9.5 billion in relief aid to Haiti from 2010 to 2012, all funneled through Clinton Foundation charities. Where'd the money go? Where'd the money go? About 5.9 billion had been dispersed by the end of September. Though dispersed does not always mean spent. So what does that mean? That's hilarious. Dispersed does not mean spent. Mitchell Smith. William Barr, when asked to recuse himself from Mueller investigation numerous times by senators, asked why he wouldn't. He said, I'm not going to give up my duties as Attorney General. Exactly. Mitchell Smith. Exactly. Exactly. Absolutely. Mitchell Smith. The Yahtzee. Black Conservative Patriot does a great job on his channel. Sub to his channel ASAP. Absolutely. He's very, very, very good. He's he's on his way to 1 million subs. 200,000 is awesome. Awesome. And if you're like a one-man show, I believe he is a one-man show. I'm a one-man show. It's you know, a lot of work to it's just yourself. So he's almost at 200,000. That's awesome. Black Conservative Patriot, thank you again for your support of my channel. Yeah, I mean, here's the New York Times article. 9.5 billion. 9.5 billion. Okay? 9.5 billion. $9.5 billion. The Yahtzee, thank you. Mitchell Smith, thank you. William Barr asked, yes, exactly. That's what you can't do that. That's the whole point. You can't recuse your responsibilities. New evidence emerges of possible wrongdoing. Possible wrongdoing? Oh my God. You mean like when Trump told Michael Cohen to lie, which actually didn't happen? Everything will be fine because 2/3 of the world's cobalt is in the Congo, and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez wants even more mining with people who are risking their lives in radioactive mines, risking their lungs, their health, without any environmental standards, just exploiting the minerals of the Congo. But she said indigenous people 50,000 times in her statements. Indigenous people, indigenous. So there you go. Meanwhile, the actual people who live, indigenous people who live in the Congo, they're gonna 2/3 of the world's cobalt, and cobalt is used for the electric batteries that are supposed to be so fantastic for the planet. They're calling them blood batteries now. Also because the lithium is so horrendous. So wait, Trump's inaugural committee spent more than $100 million, almost twice the amount of the next most expensive inaugural party, Obama in 2009. Oh, I'm sorry. So 50 million is okay in 2009, but 100 million, very bad in 2016. Don't you know? In addition to probing how the nonprofit spent its money, investigators are examining whether the inaugural received improper donations from foreigners. Are you kidding me? That's all the Clinton Foundation does. They don't even exist without donations and money from foreigners. Suddenly they care about nonprofits, but there's no weapons deals. There's no 10 billion stolen from Haiti. I interviewed Haitian-born journalist Daddy Cherry in the Huffington Post regarding she said 3% of the $10 billion was given to Haiti. The rest completely lost, quote unquote. Quote unquote. Lost. The Yahtzee, Mitchell Smith, Bruce Tamaszewski, thank you. So, but the uranium deal, that was, it's already been debunked. It hasn't been, actually, it happened. Debunked.
All day long today, the acting attorney general, Matthew
Lord,
Whitaker, testified in open session.
I don't care. Can't believe I let that happen. Oh my God. So annoying. I just can't wait until they flip the script. I just can't wait until they flip the script. Oh, Elizabeth Warren announced that she's running. That's so awesome. That's so awesome. Tina Bobina, Matthew should be new AG, if only for comic relief. Oh, that wasn't me. That was just some person. I have a couple of people pretending that they're me. We're going to pretend AJ Goodman, this live stream, that's the focus of my life. Nothing to do on a Saturday. This week, ProPublica and WNYC reported that Barack Obama's firm developed a plan after the inaugural to profit from its close ties to Trump. And they go, what? Barack's firm. Sorry, Barack, the business. This has to do with his. Okay. They're going after the reciprocal investigations will take place, ladies and gentlemen. You want to be on this channel. I mean, I didn't even touch upon all the different scandals. That's right. Sticks HA 2020. That's right. Trump's inaugural grift. Oh, reportedly lined his own pockets. You mean like the Clinton Foundation with Bill Clinton Inc., which is like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars? Oh, I'm sorry. Let's take this really seriously now. Money flowed into the Clinton Foundation amid Russian uranium deal. That's a verbatim New York Times article, but let's talk about the inaugural. Did Donald Trump personally direct the apparent illegal scheme to divert inaugural funds to enrich the Trump Organization? The Trump Organization isn't used to enrich Trump or to he doesn't even need the Trump Organization. The guy is a billionaire from real estate. It's the Clintons. He just became a politician. He won. Like, he just was like, yeah, I think I'll run. And he ran. Meanwhile, Hillary has been running her entire life and lost. And the only reason they have political power is because of the Clinton Foundation. You think like Jimmy Carter or, George H.W. Bush was powerful, but I mean, he wasn't really influential after he left office. The Clintons have been influential and powerful, and they control the Democratic Party. They cheated Bernie Sanders. They presided. They basically own the Democratic Party. They literally have joint fundraising mechanisms with the DNC. Literally joint fundraising apparatus, which is illegal. And they purchased the Steele dossier. They outsourced CrowdStrike. They literally bought their own Russian hacking myth. The Yahtzee. This year's Nobel Prize winner, Dr. Denis Mukwege from the Congo, had a message when he came here to receive the prize, paraphrasing, "Thanks for the prize, but ease on the cobalt. It's messing us up." Wow. Wow. Thank you very much for that, the Yahtzee. I have to look that up. I'm actually going to write an article on the human cost of gold, coltan, cobalt. Wow. Wow. Is the root cause of war. Gosh. But at least they said indigenous peoples a lot. That's the main thing. They keep indigenous. My country is sliding towards chaos. That's right, Dennis Mukwege. Wow. So, I mean, there you go. I mean, That's the thing. You do just a tiny bit of research, you realize that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's Green New Deal is horrible for the planet. Not good for the planet. You have 2/3 of the world's cobalt in the Congo. Horrible for the planet. Thank you, the Yahtzee. That was actually very, very important. Thank you, the Yahtzee. Thank you. Violence continues and is worsening across Congo because impunity for those in power has led to destruction of the rule of law. Congo is extremely rich in cobalt, which is essential to the production of highly valued lithium batteries. Cobalt is often mined by young Congolese working in unsafe locations and generally shipped to Asia, where it is used for the production of high-tech products. Congo remains one of the world's poorest countries. The infant mortality rate in my country is among the worst in the world. Almost every 10th child born in the country dies before she is 5. Wow. Indicators of health, nutrition, and education are equally grim. Wow. So the issue of cobalt is like lead batteries. That's cobalt is essential for. Is your phone tainted by the misery of 35,000 children in Congo's mines? It's no problem. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez says, reach for the stars. My field research shows that children as young as 6 are among those risking their lives and amid toxic dust to mine cobalt for the world's big electronic firms. What could go wrong? But it's for the planet. It's an existential issue. If you use the word existential, then anything is justified. The Democrats are the good people. 35,000 children in Congo's mines, but they use the word indigenous a lot, so they're good. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much. Check out my latest article in the Jerusalem Post. Why Democrats embrace anti-Semitism and anti-Israel bias. Here it is. Please check that out. Thank you, Eric, H526. Thank you. Ramlafara, thank you. Thank you, everyone. God bless. And God bless the people of the Congo. And thank you. And thank you for watching. I'll be back soon to my super chat. Thank you so much. I will be back. Thank you.